Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I have got questions for you. What opens with Dr. Contessa being awoken by her hubby? And what closes with Miss Quiet and me getting a wake-up call? If you guess Married to Medicine's last night's episode, Island Fever, Season 5, Episode 12, you are correct. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and sticking around to see how we get from opening to closing. I am Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. And if you are one of the first 1,000 subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you've been to the channel before, welcome back. If this is your first time here and or if you are not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. You too could be a charter subscriber. If you hurry up and subscribe now, it's a rush. I don't know if it is, but just go ahead and subscribe. It don't cost you nothing to be here but a like, a comment, a subscription, or some combination of them there things. All right. That's all I got on the advertisement side for today, or for right now. But let's proceed with the episode. It aired February 2nd, 2018. So that's last night's episode. Okay, so we're in St. Philip's. That's in Barbados. We see Dr. Tessa being awakened by her husband, Doctor. And we see Mariah and Dr. Aiden, and we see Dr. Jackie with her twist in her hair. Is that her hair? And then some scenes she has clip-ons. I don't understand. And Fancy Car Curtis, Dr. Jackie is with Fancy Car Curtis, and we see Dr. Damon. Daddy is arriving. He in the hallway talking about, hello, Dr. Heavenly, I'm right here, in here. I'm like, you don't have the root? Okay. Yeah, but anyway, Dr. Heavenly, takes him and kisses him and welcomes him to Barbados. She's so sweet with him. They're a really sweet couple. There's this underlying thing underneath Dr. Heavenly's foolishness. Okay, so we see Dr. Jackie and Fancy Car Curtis on the beach. Dr. Jackie is letting us know that at home she would be able to reconnect with Curtis in her own time and in her own space. But here, he right on top of her. She don't have that option of getting the space that she needs. It's kind of out of control, this situation. Plus, all of her friends are here, or she has an audience. They have an audience. So she's telling Curtis to be careful about, his behavior because it can be misconstrued. Or maybe it could be accurately interpreted, I guess, depending on what really go on. And he says, well, I'm just going to be me. And she says, well, you're going to be the new you, right? And he says, I'm just going to be me. Welcome. We just finished the first scene of, with Dr. Jackie and Curtis and, them on the beach, and then the montage before that. Okay, so we see the group on the bus, and they're going to, I guess eventually they're going to where the boat is going to take off. And we see Dr. Heavenly and Daddy in a separate car, and they are, the car is joining Doc Damon. Dr. Damon, we find out, thank you for the like. Yay, I appreciate it. Dr. Damon has only been to the Barbados one time, but we did find out in the planning of the trip that his heritage is, Bayesian. We didn't really know what the deal, I didn't know what the deal was. But he's been there when he was 17 years old, about 30 years ago. And he has met his half brothers and sister. Now I'm thinking we in the Barbados, we gonna get to see some of his family. We haven't seen them yet. He did not have much of a relationship with his father. We find out, Dr. Damon says that, due to his interaction with his father, due to his interaction with his father, he decided at a young age that I may have problems in life, but money is not going to be one of my problems. I think he was trying to go to a camp or something, and his father sent the money, but it came 2 weeks after the camp. We see Toya and everybody on the bus, and somebody is complimenting her her bracelet. I don't know if they knew it was a flask, but it was a flask. It's full of alcohol, I guess. It's probably water. She probably has like water in there, right? Yeah, it's water. It ain't no alcohol in there. And Mariah, in her little interview with her clever, funny behind, she's like, she's going to make sure that her Patron is never gone. I'm like, okay, Mariah. We see Jackie being introverted. Everybody's on the bus and she's kind of, got her eyes closed and she's just chilling. Somebody's like, oh, we done bored Jackie to sleep. Jackie like, I'm not asleep. My eyes are closed, but I'm not asleep. And Toya or whoever is like, well, we like turn up Jackie. Ugh. And Jackie is like, I'm cool, I'm just chilling. And then in the interview, she like, I'm not studying you, Toya. I may be studying a lot, but you ain't one of the things I'm studying. I don't think she says it like that, but we ain't studying you, Toya. So then we see Dr. Damon and Dr. Heavenly arriving at a church. They are there to find the gravesite of Dr. Heavenly's husband's father. And Dr. Damon Daddy is kind of like, whoa. And he's looking kind of like affected. Like, I sincerely believe that, I'm thinking she probably told him that this was going on before, but now I'm not really sure. I think he might have been like sincerely like caught on camera realizing that he was going to see his father's grave. Damon says that he's at a loss for words. We find out that there's no tombstone for Damon's daddy. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. I got 2 likes and 3 people in the house. Thank you. We find out that there's no tombstone for Dr. Damon's dad, and some of his other relatives are buried there as well. And we also see a flashback of Dr. Heavenly sort of doing the research in order to be able to facilitate this experience for her husband, Doc Daddy. Damon, at 17, he says that he was really angry with his father because his mom really had to struggle to raise him. But when he saw his father in person, a lot of his anger melted away. He looked like him and he just kind of realized that he loved his father. Dr. Damon has a good wife. I thought that whole scene was very sweet. As crazy as Dr. Heavenly acts on the show, I think she's playing a role, but I thought that whole moment was very sweet. So the person who was the guide had already given the 2 of them some space and time to be alone. Dr. Heavenly steps away and gives Dr. Damon some space and time. He says, thank you, Daddy, I guess for life or whatever. And then we see them leaving the gravesite and Dr. Damon says, I'll never forget this moment. That was real special. And it was so public for such an intimate moment, but I thought it was really, really beautiful. I like to see. I enjoyed it. We see Toya calling out Dr. Eugene for no sex. And he is getting really tirade of Miss Toya calling him out about his masturbation, about not giving her sex the way, she just really has a lot to vocalize about their sex life. Yeah. So Mariah and Dr. Aiden kind of started the conversation because Mariah lets us know and them know that she and Dr. Aiden were dipping it and doing it all night long. And I'm trying to figure out to where the bus ride is going because they say that Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon have, yes, Toya totally needs to stop it. I don't know if she's doing it for the show, Mr. Spencer, or if that's just her personality, but I have a theory about it, but I don't know if we'll get into it later. But, so the group is on the bus ride going to where? I guess they're going to the boat dock. I've decided that. I figured that out. We see Simone and all greet Dr. Damon Daddy, and they give somebody gives Dr. Damon Heavenly's MF report because I guess she says MF a lot, and they have the footage to support it. And then they sit down to eat. When they're talking, the men are talking in one area and the women are talking in another area. We find out that Damon's dad passed away in 1989. So that's been a while ago. And Heavenly is near tears as she is telling the story of how she found the gravesite and what the experience was like. And then meanwhile, in the middle or during the story, Miss Quad is like, waitress, may I have some salt and pepper, please? And you know who it reminded us of, right? Water! I need some ice! Two more pictures of water! Miss Kenya. She just yelling and carrying on, the woman. But this woman was actually telling, a story. So, Quad is yelling, and everybody is kind of like, huh, what's up? And Simone is like, it's not just about you, Quad. This is a sensitive moment. And then in the interview, Dr. Simone, I think it is, says that the Quad is not paying attention, or maybe she's just really hungry. But I mean, even if you're really hungry, I was kind of like, I think that's the moment when things kind of changed for me. I don't know if I've been Team Quad all along, but the editing, I don't know if it was editing or what, or maybe she just happened to be very absorbed in what she was feeling at that moment and couldn't be sensitive, but it was not a good, it was not a good look. And she asked not only for salt and pepper, but she asked for salt, pepper, and ketchup. Dr. Heavenly says in her interview that she thinks that Quad is a little bit selfish, and it comes out in her relationships. Heavenly is dabbing tears as she's telling her story, and Dr. Simone even dabs a tear. It's kind of a watching it. I don't know if I wasn't in tears watching, but I might have been in tears there, a tear or two there, here or there. We see the men talking about the Heavenly Wed game that they played at the end of the last episode, or during the last episode. And the men are using like basketball metaphors to talk about sex. When I get to the rim, I'm going to dunk it in. And what else did they say? Somebody say that Curtis been dunking his stuff in the wrong basket and whatever. So they kind of talk about that. And then they also end up talking about the fact. So they're bringing Dr. Daddy up to date about what's been going on. But they also kind of talk to Dr. G about kind of how rough and raw he was with Quad. And, they kind of flash back to him sharing about the wax, that she had to have that wax. And, that was very intimate information to be, sharing. So, LOL. Dr. Heavenly announces to the women that, I don't know if she announces it just to the women, but anyway, she let the people know that a sex therapist will be there tonight. So in the room, Dr. Simone is doing some work, and Cecil, comes up to her and he's like, you got to get ready. And Dr. Simone says, I am ready. And she does have her lipstick on and her dress on, and she says, don't I look ready? And then we see them walking, to dinner at the beach. And Mariah says she's glad to be sitting with Simone at dinner. And Mariah says she's having a good time. And it's nice to see Mariah, I don't always like to see people just always fighting and fussing and being mean and nasty, or being put, fighting, all of that stuff. So it's nice they just chilling. She and her husband are having sex. Yay. I like that. But we're going to find out. This is like a preview, but that Mariah and Dr. Ayton, I guess Dr. Ayton has had some issues with infidelity, or they have in the context of their marriage. This stuff will drain you, thinking about other people's lives and how it might relate to you in your life. But anyway, so the sex therapist has arrived. Dr. Daddy has let Dr. Heavenly know that he is not too keen about talking about sex in a group. No. Dr. Tiffany is from the ATL, and yes, work it, mama. She there, been flown into Barbados and, doing her thing. I think she represents herself very well. Unlike Mbele on the other show, who might lose a couple clients, I think that Dr. Tiffany might gain a couple clients. She seemed very on it. She was on it. She asked, where's the most interesting place that you and your partner have had sex? And Dr. Daddy Damon crushes the glass that he's holding in his hand. I don't know if he got so excited thinking about the most exciting place that he had sex, or if he was just so shocked or tense about just the nature of the conversation, or we don't know what happened. But he looked a little embarrassed. I'm sorry, excuse me, all of that. That was, yeah. Toya is like, I would like the most exciting place that I had sex to be on a balcony. And she's referring, I guess they were in Bora Bora, and she was trying to have her husband have sex on the balcony, and he was not comfortable with it. And I guess she's still mad and salty about it. You get the impression that she is way more adventurous sexually than her husband is, and that she might have a little dissatisfaction with her sex life because she's not being satisfied by the going-ons in their bedroom. That's the impression I got. she keeps lashing out at him, and it's sort of, like, it's not like really, it's not a good, it don't feel good, and it don't look good, but it don't feel good. It makes me concerned about their relationship. And I think that they probably need to go see a sex therapist specifically, or they probably need to get some support and assistance, because sex and money are the main reasons that relationships dissolve. So people, we need help with more things than we realize we need help with a lot of times. So when I say I love you after she says I don't say that I love you, then it doesn't count. They're asking questions of the sex therapist. So Dr. Tiffany is like, well, so how often do you think about Dr. Simone during the day? And he's like, I think about her, frequently throughout the day. I think about her all day. And Dr. Tiffany is like, well, maybe, call her up, during the day and let her know you're thinking about her. And I was kind of like, would that work? And Dr. Simone co-signs on it. She says in her interview, I would feel love, basically, this is my, I would feel love if he just called me to let me know that he was thinking about me during the day. So, even though we know that she filed for divorce, they might have hope. She also said, when she said that she filed for divorce in that article, that they stopped getting therapy after they stopped taping or something. And so maybe they need to go back to therapy, because they've been together for 21 years and, it might be fixable. You have to, hi, welcome 4, 3, and 4, whoever's in the house. You have to, you got to work on stuff. Things don't just work themselves out. I mean, after 21 years, but anyway. We talked about that. Then old Fancy Car Curtis was like, well, how do you get your partner to experiment with different things? And, the doctor is like, Dr. Tiffany is like, well, for example, if you want to have a threesome, and then, Heavenly in her interview, or she might have said it right then, it's not a threesome. He just wants some head. He wants fellatio. Her husband seems like he doesn't love her anymore, and he has low self-esteem and an attitude. You talking about Cecil, Dr. Simone's husband? He was smiling though when she was like, when they were talking about the best places we've made love or whatever, he seemed okay, but he was smiling and smiling, and Simone was like, oh yeah, he's the better lover than me, and it's better to have sex with him than not. And he was smiling, and then she's like, but da 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 da, and then the smile kind of cracked on his face. So I kind of feel, I don't know. I mean, shoot, if the people are divorced, it ain't nothing that I can do. The sex makes him smile, not her. Sir, Mr. Moore. We don't know that. Let me get back on this, on task. So Fancy Car Curtis. So, then some men like sex, not women. That's true. Fancy Car Kurt, Heavenly is like, he just wants some head or fellatio. He ain't thinking about a threesome or something like that. And then Dr. Heavenly goes on to say in her interview, which I thought was really mean, she said they've already had a threesome. And I was like, what? Is this some gossip? Is bochinche going on right before our eyes? And then Dr. Heavenly says, the problem is that Dr. Jackie just wasn't there. And it made me, my feelings were, I was like, oh, I kind of felt bad about that. I thought that was kind of on the mean side, but that's just me. Dr. G and Dr. Quad end up having some conversation in that therapy session with Dr. Jackie as well. And then some of it picks up in their interview. So Dr. G is like, I always felt if a woman was really into me, then she would do anything for me. And Quad is basically like, oh, so she is a sex object? You just want to have her throw on the floor and spread eagle, and you just have your way with her? And then Dr. G is like, a wife is supposed to please her husband. And Quad is like, and I couldn't quite get all of the language exactly, but basically Quad is like, I don't really feel, comfortable enough with you to be wanting to please you. Now, I don't know exactly what is going on in their relationship, and we all know, and we've been talking about the fact that before they got married, when they first came on the show, we know that there was a lot of drama and chaos and confusion and, police getting caught and fighting and sending messages out to people to call off the wedding. I mean, that stuff seems very intense to me. So it seems like they've always had a very, intense dynamic. To me, it doesn't seem happy. Some people might like all of that chaos and mess and confusion. I don't know. I don't understand. But So thank you for the like. So they're not feeling, there's something wrong. To me, there's something wrong. But I do feel like, as a woman, it's like, Miss Wendy Williams talks, or no, who is it who talks about a woman feeling loosey goosey? It's kind of like, if you stressing her out, she is not going to be sincerely happy and relaxed and comfortable with you. So the vibration for sex is not going to be a good, dang, I miss all of those comments because I was busy talking. I'm so busy talking, I can't listen to nobody else. Facts, you welcome. Dr. G thinks old school and has no chemistry with Quad. Yeah. So I don't, we just gonna let them go and send some love and prayers out to them and to all of us, because we all got relationships we trying to have with ourselves and with our friends and family and significant others, and I guess insignificant others too. So we can just take what we can learn from them and try to apply it. Thank you, Frank G. I love my channel too. Dr. Tiff asked Fancy Car, basically she asked him what his love language is, and he's like time and feeling important. And I totally believe that, because I would venture to guess that most athletes and people who have been star athletes and people who have come up, I don't know what his history was, but a lot of times by the time someone, even if he's not playing professional ball in the United States and he's playing it in another country or whatever, he was probably a college star, he was probably a high school star, he's probably a star before that. He's gotten a lot of attention. That's how he's felt appreciated and valued. That's probably been hardwired into him, or if it wasn't hardwired in, it's been fed and stroked and fed and stroked. So that attention and love and him being the star, that's what he wants, that's what he loves, that's what he's here for, that's what. And Dr. Contessa is sort of like, you married Oprah and you want Betty Crocker, like you knew who she was when you married her, and she's not that type of woman who can, like on if y'all ever watch Wags Atlanta, there's one character who's like, I want to be a TV announcer, but I can't do it because my husband plays baseball. And it's so confusing to me, because I'm like, I'm not a wag. Not obviously, but I'm not a wag. But I'm like, I mean, she don't have to hold the bat for him and the ball for him. I mean, he can go to work. He don't need her to hold his hand the whole time. Yeah, I don't know if she left him, we don't know what the deal is really with these people's lives. But I was saying on notes on the news feed that I had heard that Fancy Car Curtis was doing, this is probably not the first relationship that he's had with a woman or whoever outside of his marriage. So yeah, she's probably been, but I think they're back together. But yeah. And then I kind of feel bad because, I feel like with Dr. Jackie, if she had had children, would she have been as distant from her children as she appears to us to be from her husband? Or if she had had children, would she have been more tuned into her household and the needs of her children and the needs of her family? Because sometimes when you have children, a lot of things in our life shift who we are as human beings and, open up parts of us that have never been opened and touched us in ways that, haven't been touched before. So, a lot of people kind of are theorizing that if Dr. Jackie had a child, she would be a different kind of woman. But I personally, and I'm not in a relationship, so it's just me looking from the outside in. I have Fancy Car Curtis. I'm just not here for him. I feel like even the thing we just saw a minute ago where the child said, I had missed where she said she was testing him, but they went back and looped it and she said she was testing him. But this man is 87 years old. I don't care if she's standing there naked. You had to put your hands on her and bring her into your lap. Like his restraint, his sense of, like the way he processes things, it seems very centered on himself and not sensitive at all to, his wife, he seems like it's all about him. So I have nothing for him. I don't, but if Jackie like him, then I love him for her. That's for her. Okay, so Dr. Contessa is like, he married Oprah and he want Betty Crocker. And then Dr. Jackie is like, I never are. Oh, Dr. Jackie kind of talks about never wanting anyone to feel the fear and the abandonment that she felt when she found that she had cancer, the 2 times that she's dealt with it. And it's kind of interesting to me that she didn't have that emotional support at home, or didn't, I feel like there's something to be said there that we aren't really exploring. And then Dr. Tiffany is basically like that you do not want your clients to feel, in terms of feeling unloved and unneeded and alone, is what the person who loves you and needs you the most feels. He feels scared and alone. And I definitely think that that man, I think that anybody, like, I feel like if Dr. Jackie is not your cup of tea, then leave her. Be like, okay, it's a wrap. The relationship didn't work out. I like you. I love you, but I'm going to move on. I'm not really a fan of, she forced him to be dishonest and dishonor his vows. I just feel like, man up. And if you want to go, go. I mean, ain't nobody, forcing you to be here. So I kind of feel like he clearly is somebody who is emotionally has some deficiencies, especially considering his age. I'm like, that's the best you could do, like that shows a breakdown in his emotional development and some opportunity for growth. We all here for growth. But anyway, Dr. Jackie says, well, maybe Curtis is not ill or dying like my parents, but my patients, but our marriage is. So I feel like the setup is for, and what I want to say, this is totally unrelated, but I am just really stressed out that people are like all on this comedian woman who's saying that Netflix didn't give her wanted to only offer her $500,000. People are just really making fun of the fact that she has gray hair. And I'm like, I don't understand why having gray hair is a crime. But anyway, that's tough. And I usually when I wrap my hair, I pull it. I'm like, I have gray hair and what? That's totally off the subject. Okay, so Dr. Tiffany is finished with her work. She's leaving and she gets an ovation. The people are clapping for her. They're standing. And as she exits Upstage Center. And I feel, like I said at the beginning when she came on, she did a good job. I think she added value to her business. Right, that's crazy. Monique is taking a stand. And what's wrong with her having gray hair? I mean, God, we crazy. I think that Dr. Tiffany did a good job, and I think that Heavenly or Bravo or whoever had the sex therapist come on did a good job. I think they selected a good person or looked up on a good person. I like the Heavenly wig game. I think this might be my favorite couples retreat that we've seen so far. So okay, so we got that. Then we have Mariah and Dr. Aiden on the phone with baby girl at home. Dr. Simone and Cecil are processing counseling, so it's another montage situation. Dr. Contessa and her doc hubby are getting ready, and I think that Toya and Dr. Eugene had angry sex, and Toya seems happier, and Dr. Eugene seems happy. So maybe that's their thing. Maybe she's trying to embarrass him into manhandling her, and then it's exciting and it works for her. We see the doctors do some medical service on the island set up by Dr. Simone. Yes, I'm happy about that. They're checking blood pressure and interacting with the people as in a human way. I like to see that. Dr. Eugene is talking to an 18-year-old about weight. They about the same size and they both look big. It evolves into the docs checking each other. Dr. Eugene has dangerously high blood pressure. Dr. Jackie says that he could have a stroke. Hi, welcome. I'm so happy to have you as a subscriber, Lindell, Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore. More is more, not less, right? Okay. So, Dr. Jackie is very concerned, and everybody is concerned about what's going on with the man's high blood pressure, Dr. Eugene's high blood pressure. And Dr. Jackie said he basically needs to go to the ER. This is like serious. And Dr. Eugene, we find, is not taking his meds because he don't want to be on meds. He know that's the whole pharmaceutical thing is some bull, but he needs to eat better. The medical mission has turned into a Dr. Eugene mission. Dr. Jackie is like, you're not on meds. And one thing I appreciate about her is that even though she seems very traditional in terms of the whole medical thing, I like that she has modeled, her little fitney things, you know, the little exercise, eat whole foods, wholesome foods type thing. I really appreciate that. None of us can make him take care of himself, Toya, but we all, oh, this is me talking. We can't make Dr. Eugene or anybody take good care of themselves. What we can do is take better care of ourselves, drinking more water, eating more whole, I just said all of this earlier today, eating more whole foods, for whole fruits and vegetables, but I can't say it enough. You know, instead of white rice, get you some brown, you know, we just really need to do better for ourselves personally, for our families, for our communities, you know, because Toya is not the thinnest child out. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like we all have to do better. Just because he has high blood pressure, that's like where the issue is happening. But we all have an issue when our families are sick. So we all have to do better. And thank you, Dr. Jackie, for bringing up that aspect of the conversation in a way. I really like Quad's headband that she had on the medical Mission Plus. Dr. Heavenly, she says she has a boat for us all, and it's much nicer than the mess that we had the last time and the mess that we're used to. A mess. Dr. Heavenly can be very messy, but I think she just does it for TV. But the group is very happy with what they have. We're seeing with what they have. We're seeing lots of legs, and we see Dr. Jackie's midsection. She looks very fit and toned. And I see a lot of people talking about she needs to eat a hamburger, and I don't know. I just have a whole different take on it. I like to see somebody take good care of themselves and take good care of their bodies. Thank you for watching. I know, and then now it's going to be a long replay because I'm chit-chatting. Okay, so Dr. Eugene is going to deal with his health, he says. It's not like he has a long-standing hypertension or like he needs to go to emergency right now. And Toya is like, I heard this before. So that kind of made me a little bit sad. And then we see Contessa is saying she likes Mariah and she's bonded with her and they have a lot more in common than she expected. And Mariah is like, oh, well, you know, I have realized that I need to watch my tone. And then Dr. Contessa is like, your tone is no worse than anybody else's tone. And then Mariah is like, it's a double standard. It was like she was apologizing for a second and then she was like right on it. Like she saw her opening and she took it. It's a double standard. It's all good as long as I don't breathe. You being a little extreme there. And then Quad is like, if someone calls you on your stuff, you know, you shouldn't feel attacked, Mariah. And then Mariah is like, but no one calls you on your stuff. And then they're like, they won't let me, and then Mariah says in the interview, you know, they won't let me slide on anything, but they let Quad do the cha-cha slide and the electric slide, and she slides all around. I thought that was funny. Mariah is funny. She come up with some good lines. Quad too. Simone is like, we all have, and then Mariah said that they were easier on Quad because she was young. Simone says we have all taken it easier on Quad because she's sensitive. And Quad is like, I have never gotten a break in this group. And I'm like, what? The group loves her. And Simone is like, that's not true. That's not true. And the men are watching and one of them is smoking cigars and stuff. And the other people, and it's like a big melee and it says to be continued. I don't know if it's a big melee, but it's sort of like Quad is not in agreement or in agreeance, as some of us like to say, that she has had it easy in this group or that. So we'll see next week what's going on with the Married to Medicine women and wives and husbands and all of that other stuff. Today is the best day ever. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't already liked the video, subscribe, comment, like. It don't cost you anything to get the content, but likes are free for you and they help the channel. So like, comment, subscribe, share. Today is the best day ever, and you are the #1 stunner. So be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Peace. Anybody have anything to say real quick? Going up. Thanks for the review. You're welcome. Thank you for being here, Mr. Spencer. It's white low, right? White low, like sweet and low. All right. Bye.